What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nunu Prime, man. You can call me Nunu, or you can call me Prime, or you can call me MP for short. Now, today we got 4 racist stereotypes Hollywood keeps running back. And do I feel offended? Me personally, I am, because I was watching this video without, trying to make a reaction video. But then I learned something that literally we're going to learn right now. So, I'm going to learn this, and if y'all want to watch this video by yourself, the title right there, y'all can search it up, or I'll put it in the link description. It might be in the link description. If not, y'all might have to go type it in. But anyway, we got this video, like I said, it's 4 racist stereotypes Hollywood keep running back. And yeah, man, let's get into it. We a minute in.
They did not stumble into these images, they built them. 4 specific tools, 4 specific targets, all aimed at the same man, the black man. And Hollywood has been running them back for over a century. Number 1, the Beast. In 1908, Jack Johnson walked into a boxing ring and changed everything. He knocked out Tommy Burns in Sydney, Australia, and became the first black heavyweight champion of the world. And the reaction from white America was not just disappointment, it was panic. Jack London, yes, that Jack London, the famous author, publicly called for a, quote, great white hope to come take the title back. When James J. Jeffries agreed to fight Johnson in 1910, Jeffries said out loud that his entire purpose was to prove that a white man was better than a black man. Johnson destroyed him too, and when the results spread across the country, white mobs attacked black neighborhoods in dozens of cities. Men were beaten, some were killed, all because a black man was the strongest man in the world and refused to act ashamed of it. That is when the machine kicked in, family. They could not beat him in the ring, so they used the law. Johnson was prosecuted under the Mann Act in 1912 for transporting a white woman, Belle Schreiber, across state lines. He was convicted and sentenced. The law was being used as a weapon to punish him for being too strong, too free, and too unafraid. And Hollywood was watching. In 1915, Birth of a Nation hit theaters and told America that the black male body was a sexual weapon aimed at white women. That film did,
Which is not true, by the way. Aimed at white women. That's messed up. Like, why would y'all portray a black man like that? Even though, yes, there are some men that just like white women for some reason. But that's not entirely true, though. Hopefully that ain't entirely true. But that's just crazy how they
not just tell a story, it helped resurrect the Klan. Then in 1933, King Kong arrived. Scholars at multiple institutions have drawn a direct line between Birth of a Nation and King Kong, a massive dark creature captured from his homeland, brought to New York in chains, and destroyed because he reached for a white woman. The racial subtext was not subtle, it was structural.
I remember watching King Kong for the first time. All I could just think of, it was just King Kong. But now watching this video, I see it now. I literally see it now.
The Mandingo myth completed the picture. During slavery, white enslavers invented the image of the hypersexual, physically unstoppable black male to make money. They promoted the strength and size of enslaved men at auction. It was an economic tool built on dehumanization. Kyle Onstadt turned it into a novel in 1957, and Paramount turned that novel into a film in 1975, starring real-life heavyweight boxer Ken Norton. They went and got a boxer on purpose. Think about that. Here is the part that should make you stop. Today, black men make up 56% of all NCAA football players and 66% of all NCAA men's basketball players. They represent about 3% of the broader undergraduate student population at those same schools. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found that black athletes in Power 5 conferences are losing between $1.2 and $1.4 billion a year because of the so-called amateurism rules that prevent them from being paid. And the NFL, which is about 70% black, used a practice called race norming in its concussion settlement. They assumed black players had lower baseline cognitive abilities than white players. That assumption meant black retired players received lower payouts for brain damage they got playing the game. The NFL knew exactly what they were doing.
Which I feel like, and that's why I'm glad I'm not playing college football, or this is not a reason why I'm glad I'm not playing college football nor going to the NFL. Cause like it don't matter what ethnicity y'all are, treat and help y'all players for better health. Not just the white players, not just the black players, for any ethnicity. Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, any type of player, any ethnicity, bro. Like, like help the players, bro. At least make sure they health right, cause we had too many. Man,
The beast trope is not just a movie character, it is an economic policy. But the beast only handles one part of the job, because a man you can see can still be loved. To really erase him, you have to make him disappear. And that brings us to number 2, the
the
ghost.
ghost.
The ghost is the black father who is gone before the story begins, or gone shortly after it starts, and whose absence is never treated as a tragedy. His death is not a wound the story grieves. It is a plot function. It clears the board so someone else can move. Look at Black Panther, released in 2018. King T'Chaka travels to Oakland, confronts his brother Njobu, kills him, and leaves Njobu's young son Eric behind, alone, in Oakland. He literally flies back to Wakanda without the child. That boy grows up without a father, without a nation, without belonging to anything, and the film turns him into the villain for the feelings that created. T'Chaka's decision, to kill his own brother and abandon his nephew, is treated by the film as tragic but justified. The dead man served his purpose. His absence built the villain. The villain had to die. And the king who made the choice was mourned and respected. Think about Dick Halloran in The Shining from 1980. He has the gift. He feels the child's fear across hundreds of miles. He drives through a blizzard to save a white mother and her son. He walks through that door, and Jack Torrance puts an axe through him. In Stephen King's original novel, Halloran survives. Kubrick killed him. His death was a choice made by a white director, and it served one purpose only: to raise the stakes for the white family's survival. His life had no value in that story except as fuel. Family, this is a pattern across decades of film. The black man either dies early to motivate a white protagonist, or he dies to confirm that his anger was always the real danger. Either way, his death is a tool. He never gets to live on screen, to lead a family that stays whole, to build something that survives him. He exists to be absent.
Man, that's also messed up, man. Like, bro, that's just messed up, man. It is. That's effed up, man.
And every child who grows up watching those films absorbs the message that black fathers leave. Black fathers die. Black fathers are not the point of the story.
Man, we fathers are important, especially black fathers. Fathers are important. Just know that, y'all. It ain't no thing like, even though we all know Brian grew up without fathers, some people grew up without fathers and still end up successful, but fathers are important. Fathers are important. And to all my brothers out there who has a child, be there for them. Love the mother and love the child. Be there for your child if y'all ever have one. Especially if you are black. And I'm not just talking to my brothers out there, my black brothers out there. I'm talking to every ethnicity. Bro, when you are a father someday, be there for your child. Especially as a black man. Be there for them.
That damage is
And we need to like seriously to say not all black fathers do this. There's some, but not all black fathers do this.
generational, and it was placed there deliberately. But there is something even more targeted than making him disappear. Because sometimes the black man speaks up with genuine truth, with real evidence of real pain. And the system has a specific answer for that too. They call him crazy. That is number 3, the
That's
crazy one.
crazy.
You need to understand where this starts, because it did not start on a film set. In May of 1851, a physician named Samuel A. Cartwright published a paper in the New Orleans Medical and Surgical Journal. In that paper, he proposed a new mental illness. He called it drapetomania. He said it was a disease that caused enslaved black people to want to run away from their enslavers. Read that again. He said the desire for freedom was a symptom of mental illness. Cartwright held the title of
Wow. 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 That's fucked up, dude. That everything's just fucked up, bro.
Professor of Diseases of the Negro at the University of Louisiana, which later became Tulane. He was not a fringe voice in 1851. He was published in a medical journal. His paper was reprinted. And he also invented a second diagnosis, dysesthesia ethiopica, for enslaved people who were disobedient, refused to work, or showed what he called lack of work ethic. His prescribed treatment for both conditions included, and I need you to hear this clearly, physical punishment. He wrote that whipping could cure the desire for freedom. He disguised brutality as medicine, and he created a template that has never fully disappeared. When a black man expresses justified anger, diagnose the anger, not the cause. Hollywood picked that template up and ran with it. In 2018, Black Panther gave us Eric Killmonger, and the writing team, led by director Ryan Coogler, made sure you understood exactly why Eric was angry. His father was murdered by the Wakandan king. He was abandoned as a child in Oakland. He grew up watching black people across the diaspora suffer while Wakanda, the most advanced nation on earth, hid its resources and did nothing. His diagnosis of the problem was correct. His argument was historically grounded. His grievance was real, and the film killed him for it. Not because he was wrong, because the film decided his response, his willingness.
Because they viewed him as crazy. So they view us as crazy. So you mean to tell me that if we get tired of something, or if we got tired of something, we gonna get viewed as crazy? Just wow, man. Wow. Wow. Just wow, bro.
To use force to end black suffering made him too dangerous to let live. His conviction was framed as madness. His anger was framed as the illness. And T'Challa, the man who continued a policy of abandonment and watched the diaspora bleed, was the hero. Hey family, real talk. YouTube has shut down channels for telling exactly these kinds of stories. So I need you to find us off this platform. Go to blackstories-untold.com, join our mailing list, and make sure we stay connected no matter what they do. Now back to the list. The same pattern runs through Bushmaster in Luke Cage Season 2, also 2018. His family was murdered by the Stokes crime family. His pain was documented, specific, and historically rooted. The show called his pursuit of justice an obsession that drove him to insanity. The man with the righteous wound, diagnosed as the danger. Cartwright would have recognized the logic immediately. They have been running his playbook for 170 years, and they just updated the costume. But of all 4 tropes, the last one is the one that should make your blood run cold, because it is the most sophisticated, the most cruel, and the most deliberate. Number 4, the Predator. The other 3 tropes had white faces behind them from the start. Birth of a Nation, King Kong, Cartwright's Diagnosis, all produced by white institutions for white audiences. But the Predator trope found its modern form through a different mechanism. They built the weapon and then handed it to us to use on ourselves. In 1985, The Color Purple opened in theaters. Alice Walker had written a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel about a black woman's survival through extraordinary suffering. It was her story, her community, her people. When Hollywood came for the film rights, Walker was reluctant. She only agreed after consulting with friends and after securing contractual protections. She required that 50% of the production team, outside the cast, be black, female, or from the third world. She wanted final script approval. Here is what happened anyway. Walker's screenplay was set aside. A Dutch-born white writer named Menno Magus was brought in as screenwriter. A white director named Steven Spielberg was handed the camera. Walker was reduced to an uncredited script doctor coaching actors on set. The story of black women's pain, shaped by black hands in the original text, was filtered through two white men before it reached the screen. Spike Lee said directly in Film Comment that Hollywood only greenlit the film because the black men in it were depicted as one-dimensional animals. The NAACP officially called out the film for its stereotypical portrayal of black males. James Baldwin criticized Spielberg for mangling Walker's vision. Black male professor
Spielberg. Oh, now they know they wrong. That's they know that's wrong. They know that wrong. Yeah, they know they wrong.
called it a dangerous film in the Washington Post. Demonstrators picketed the premiere. And yet, the image held. The central picture that entered the culture from that film, that black men are the primary threat to black women, never left. It multiplied. Here is the part the data demands you understand. Black women do experience intimate partner violence at rates about 35% higher than white women. That is real. That pain is real. But researchers have found that when you control for socioeconomic factors, poverty, unemployment, housing instability, the racial gap in those numbers shrinks significantly. Domestic violence is not a black male pathology. It is a human crisis driven by poverty and powerlessness that crosses every...
Like we not the only ones that do that. Like there's some men that do domestic violence. Like some black men do domestic violence, but y'all act like black people are the only ones. There's other people that do that too.
racial line. Hollywood does not make that distinction. Hollywood frames it as a black male problem specifically, produced by black male nature specifically, while white domestic violence at comparable absolute numbers receives no equivalent cultural campaign. And here is what makes this the sharpest blade of the four. After 1985 proved there was a market for black pain told through this lens, white Hollywood found something better than directing it themselves. They found black creators who internalized the narrative and would produce it for them. The trope went internal. The supply chain got shorter. The fingerprints got harder to trace. They built the frame. They handed it to us. And now some of us police our own story inside their architecture without ever knowing we picked up someone else's weapon. Family, step back and look at all four together. The beast makes the black man a physical threat, reduce him to his body, extract his labor, justify his containment. Without ever knowing we picked up someone else's weapon. Family, step back and look at all four together. The beast makes the black man a physical threat, reduce him to his body, extract his labor, justify his containment. The ghost removes him from family, kill him early, make his absence the starting condition, teach children that his disappearance is normal. The crazy one discredits his voice, give him a real wound, then frame his response as the proof of his instability, so his testimony can never be trusted. And the predator turns his own community against him. Manufacture the image that he is the primary danger to the people he loves most, until the separation becomes self-enforcing. 4 tools, 1 target. And this did not happen by accident. Birth of a Nation was produced in 1915 as a deliberate political act by D.W. Griffith, who said openly that the film was a history written in lightning. Cartwright published his diagnosis in a medical journal because he needed institutional authority to enforce it. The Color Purple was produced by an industry that greenlit it precisely because it confirmed a specific image of black men. These were decisions made by specific people with specific intentions, not cultural evolution, not storytelling instinct, strategy. And the reason this matters today, right now, this week, is because these 4 images are still running simultaneously across your streaming service. They are in the blockbusters your children are watching. They are in the prestige dramas critics are praising. They are in the shows that black creators are being paid to make inside studios, still owned by the same class of people who built these tools in the first place. When you can name the trope, you can see through it. When you can see through it, you stop feeding it your belief. That is not a small thing, family. That is the beginning of building something different. You cannot replace a lie you cannot name. Now you know all 4. Say the names and stop letting them run. This was Black Stories Untold. And as always, thanks for watching. If you want more stories like this, click the video on your screen now.
Yeah, that's bro. I was just a kid watching these movies, you know, just be like, man, I love King Kong growing up. Like, bro, I love King Kong growing up. I ain't never knew this shit was like racially. Like, I love watching Black Panther grow up, seeing T'Challa beat Killmonger at like, but then like crazy how, like you said, the crazy one, they view him telling his testimony as an illness, as like he crazy. Then the ghost saying, "Oh, black fathers being absent in a child's life is normal." No, no, that's not right. Then the fourth one, bro. No, bro. Just watching this as a normal human being made me realize, damn, this is crazy and this is effed up. I can't really have an opinion, say an opinion, but all I know is that this is effed up, man. Bro, I might have to go cry, but I'm gonna stay tough for y'all, man. I might have to go cry, but yeah, man, I'm a little bit hurt. But anyway, it's been your boy Nunu Prime. You either call me Nunu, or you call me Prime, or you call me NP, and I'll see you on the next video.